Well, as International Women's History Month wraps up, this year's theme highlights women who advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion in our society. I spoke with Senator Lea Webb, the first woman and person of color to represent the Southern Tier's 52nd District, who is now opening their doors for other women. Born and raised in the Southern Tier, Democrat Senator Lea Webb has represented Tompkins, Cortland, and parts of Broome County since the 2023 general election. But Webb has long been practicing what it means to contribute to public service and brought her experiences to the forefront.
My incoming class, when I was elected of senators specifically, was the first ever all-women freshman class of senators in the history of New York State with respect to the legislature. That's 246 years.
Webb emphasizes just how important it is to have those diverse voices have a seat at the decision-making table.
It is crucial that we have it because it ensures that the needs are being addressed for all of our communities that are often left behind. When you talk about creating a future that looks bright for everyone,
the senator has introduced a number of policies, from the Equal Rights Amendment that secures abortion rights in the state constitution and expands protections for vulnerable communities. Most recently, she secured funding for the BIPOC Task Force on Missing and Murdered Women and Girls bill that went into effect just yesterday.
So the task force will be made up of 9 or more members appointed by the Senate Assembly and the governor, that will look at what's happening in our communities, because when you hear data such as 250,000 women and girls going missing and murdered every year, that also is an indication of a systemic failure.
Every year, the New York State Legislative Caucus recognizes women leaders in their respective districts across the state. This year, Webb recognized Dr. Carol Ross Scott, Vice President of Student Affairs and Chief Diversity Officer at SUNY Broome.
These are educators. These are individuals who are small business owners. They are mothers, grandmothers. They are playing so many roles in our community, and I always feel it's important to recognize those that are often doing work behind the scenes.
During last week's Women's History Month celebrations, Webb says she was able to reflect on the representation of women in New York State, from our first ever woman governor to more women of color in prominent leadership roles.
When you think about Women's History Month, to remember those who've blazed the trails for us, whose shoulders we stand on, and most certainly the folks in the present whose shoulders we align next to, we're standing next to each other, pushing for positive change in our communities, in our state.
And Senator Lea Webb tells me that this month overall is really a call for action to get more women out there and advocate for that change.
Yeah, it'd be really great for representation. Thank you, Crystal.